Hey there, welcome inside the very first edition of the 2021 Chalk Talk series for men's lacrosse, Denver Pioneer Athletics. My name is Tyler Mon, alongside the head coach of the Denver Pioneers, Bill Tierney. And I introed our weekly radio show a little while ago by saying alongside also, and it was a lie that time, and not alongside, but getting a chance to talk to you. And Coach, it's so good to see you. How you doing?
Doing great. Excited about what's coming up and excited to have everybody else joining us here.
Absolutely, and we're so thankful, of course, to all of our men's lacrosse supporters and partners, and those who have helped support the 5280 COVID Together Relief Fund here in 2021, as it has been a challenging year to say the least for all of us. But back to it, we're recording this on Tuesday, the 6th of January, and coming up on Saturday, the Pioneers will take on the Utah Utes in the opening game of this 2021 season. And Coach, it's been a while, and we talked a little while ago about just what this will mean for you and for your team on our radio show. But for those who are joining us here on Chalk Talk, just kind of give us the rundown of the last 10 months and now getting into a game week, what the feeling is for you guys.
Thanks, Tyler. And first of all, thank you to all the people who are on this, taking a look at this Chalk Talk, but more importantly, the support you've given both our program and men's lacrosse in the athletic department. It's been trying, as we all know, but, under the leadership of Carlton Creech and Brandon McNeil, and then, my staff and all the people around us, it's been, it's an honor to be on with you. So moving on into our season, it's been, it'll almost be 11 months by the time we face off on Saturday, and 10 and a half months exactly. And, as I said to Tyler earlier, I've really learned over the last 10 and a half months how blessed and lucky I am to have a staff like I do, an associate head coach in Matt Brown, who is just the brains and heart and soul of this program. John Gallant, our defensive coordinator, Eric Adamson, our volunteer coach, Sue Kelly, our director of ops, and Josie White, our trainer, and Tim Murray, our strength coach. Without them, I'm not sitting here in this position. Our university has done more than any university out there to help keep our student athletes, our students, and our teachers, our professors and staff healthy throughout this thing. And we continue to test our players and our coaches at least once a week, if not twice or three times. And just to be at this moment, be able to talk to you and be at this moment before a game it's surreal. It's surreal. We've recognized how lucky we are. We've recognized how blessed we are to be in this profession. And now to have it finally come to game day, I can tell you, I'm not gonna sleep much come Friday night.
Well, Coach, let's talk about this 2021 team. You get a lot of players back, as the NCAA granted an extra year of eligibility to spring sports athletes last year. So there are going to be a ton of names that Pioneers fans are very familiar with. And I think, there's, in looking for the bright sides of things, if you were bummed last season going into 2020, this is the last time we're going to watch Ethan Walker or Danny Logan or whoever, you get a chance again this year. So you get a lot of returning guys. There's some newcomers as well. Tell us about your team going into 2021.
Well, if you knew our team last year, you know our team this year, plus 4 transfers from 2 other schools, 2 from Yale, 2 from Loyola, a sophomore transfer in from Rutgers, plus 14 freshmen. And so it makes for a crowded locker room. It makes for a big roster, but it's still the Ethan Walker show. And we're so lucky and so blessed to have Ethan turn down 2 professional leagues to come back and get his master's degree from our university college and be a part of this. Danny Logan being a 3rd-year captain now. Colin Squires being our premier defensive guy for years, and Kyle Smith, who started for 4 years now for us at short stick, amongst other seniors that have been a part of this thing. It's exciting. It's kind of deja vu all over again. And then we add in 2 great young men from Yale, Lucas Kotler and Jackson Morrill, who just bring more talent and more excitement and more buy-in to the Pio way. So that there's a few new names that you're going to see out there right away on the field. But for the most part, if you knew our team last year, you know our team this year. Just some of us just happen to have gotten a year older and a little bit grayer.
I'm very familiar with that. This season coming into 2021, the schedule has been so different. Ordinarily in the fall, you'd get practices, you'd get exhibition games, you get to see your guys scrimmage and do all that type of stuff. Now, I've worked so much with basketball over the last few years. It's a little bit easier on a roster that has 15 to get everybody on the floor and doing things. A lacrosse roster is much bigger, and you guys don't get to have your whole complement out there. It's not full squad every day practicing the way it would ordinarily be. What have practices been like for you guys? Just trying to get your team ready in groups and in different settings and in different work.
Yeah, it's been really interesting, and I've never had to Stu Halsall, who here at the University of Denver has done so much for us when it comes to the protocols we've followed and all the safety measures. He and Julie Campbell, our head trainer, just been amazing through all this. But we started back in the fall with 66 people, and that meant, and the city governed that to mean you had to have no more than 10 on the field at a time. So literally did 7 practices some days. During the fall, we'd do some 3 days and some 4 days and go back and forth. But with that in mind, and you can think down about that, but I can tell you our young men, especially our freshmen, had so much coaching. Right then we had 4 coaches for 10 guys. Now we have the same 4 coaches for 66 guys. So it's been a little different, but certainly it offered us an opportunity to get to know those young men better and help them improve. As we moved through the fall, we were up to 25-person cohorts. So we were able to get 3 groups now and get a little bit of lacrosse in. And then, of course, our final exams came, and then the guys went home for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And now we're back, and now we're in 2 cohorts. So we're eventually getting there, but still under the guidelines. We can only have 15 guys in the locker room at once, and so guys are coming back and forth. But we have gotten into these 2 cohorts and tried to our best to play lacrosse. It's the idea of what we're trying to do. We still have some hurdles to jump through, with the state, with the guidelines for games, with the protocols. We're not gonna have fans this week and through February at least. Some of our players are gonna have to be up in the stands, in uniform, ready to play. Hopefully, there's so many different things that are gonna go on, but it all comes back. It all comes back to what Colton Creech, our boss, told us way back on March 14th, I think was our first Zoom call, was this is going to be different. We've just got to stay positive. And the minute that you get down about something, realize that at that time, 20,000 people had died in our country. Now, whatever it is, 400,000 people have. And that in lacrosse, we got to know who we are. And we think what we do is very important for the lives, the futures of these young men. But at the end of the day, we're blessed to be at the University of Denver, who cares about us so much, and to have people above us to help us. As coaches, sometimes we get real excited about what we do, and we need to be stabilized a little bit once in a while. And I think we've come to as happy a place as we can. We'll see what happens on Saturday afternoon against Utah, who brings in a really exciting team. But I can tell you, we're thrilled to finally say it's game day.
Coach, if you are an analyst looking at this team going into 2021, we last year talked so much about you get so much of your scoring depth back, and you get some very experienced guys back. Defense was going to be a young component last year. Those guys now have been in the program. Obviously, haven't played a full season, but they've been in the program for a full year. What are the things that excite you most about this team from a gameplay standpoint? It's called Chalk Talk, so we'll talk some X's and O's. And what are the things that you're going to look for early growth with this team in this season?
Well, what excites us about us is we think offensively. We're deeper than we've ever been. Even our 2015 team, which was really talented. Obviously, we won a national championship, but Coach Brown's going to have a hard time juggling putting all these talented young men in the game. Defensively, we're a little thinner. We've got two great face-off guys back, and Alex Stathakis and Brett Bose. We've got experience now, young experience in the goal, but experience nonetheless. And as you mentioned, our defense, long Danny Logan and Kyle Smith and Colin Squires, they're going to have to play with still a bunch of young people, but people who now have played against against North Carolina, Duke, and Notre Dame, and know what it feels like. So, and then you add a couple more really talented guys to our offense, and we think we're going to score. We should score a lot of goals. As I mentioned before, sometimes there might be some 17 to 15 games as we get this defense under control and back group together. And that's all good news. I really feel confident about this team. Our schedule brings us Utah home on Saturday, and then we go to North Carolina and play Duke in North Carolina on Friday and Sunday. And when anybody questions the sanity of that, you're looking at the guy who did it. But I asked our seniors, would you rather play none of those teams or one of those teams, or we've got the chance to play Carolina and Duke on the same weekend? We can only play one if we go one weekend. And unanimously, these young men want to play. They miss the game so much. They want to play, and we're going to learn from those games, win, lose, or draw. And we're excited for the schedule we have put together. The Big East schedule is a home and home schedule, so we've gained some home games that we wouldn't have had. And so as we move forward, we're gonna take it and each day before we walk on that field, remind ourselves of what we went through for the last 11 months and be thankful for the opportunity.
All right, Coach, final point. Let's talk about this weekend. You get Utah in town, a young program, at least in their Division I era as a full-fledged D1 team, but a lot of continuity on the coaching staff, a really talented group that I know even a couple of years ago when you guys faced them for the first time, you were a little bit wary of because they play a very confident style. They've got some really talented components. Tell us about the Utes coming into this weekend.
Yeah, and first of all, their coaching staff is phenomenal. Brian Holman, their head coach, I've known for a long, long time. I coached with him at Johns Hopkins back in the mid-'80s. Brian's a great coach, and he's got a great young staff. These guys all still play in the PLL, a professional league. So Utah plays a professional style. It is go, go, go. They have play with confidence. They don't get concerned if they make a mistake. And so they're going to be challenging. They're very young. They have 48 freshmen and sophomores and one senior and one grad student, so very young. But they're going to, the one thing about this year is that every team that plays is going to be excited about playing because could be their first time, and we never know. It could be their last game. And I think that knowledge that we've been through and that appreciation is going to make everybody ready to go. Utah's fast, confident, and looking forward to trying to come in and knock off the Pioneers. And it's our job to concentrate on ourselves as far as an X's and O thing. This hasn't been a big scouting report week. This is more about how can the Pioneers do what we do and do it the best we can at the end of January.
Well, it's going to be a fun weekend. It's just great to get back out there this weekend and see Peter Barton Lacrosse Stadium, hopefully not covered in quite as much snow as the rest of Denver today. But Coach, it's so good to talk to you, and can't wait for Saturday.
Well, thanks, Tyler. And we, again, thanks to you all, and look forward to seeing you at future games, hopefully later in the season.
Absolutely. And yeah, biggest thanks to our men's lacrosse supporters and supporters of the 5280 COVID Together Relief Fund. He's Pioneers head coach Bill Tierney. I'm Tyler Maughan. We'll talk to you in 2 weeks for the next edition of Chalk Talk from DU.